Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Young Kings Wrestling Podcast. I'm TC Fontaine, joined by the Essential Wreak Havoc. We doing things a little bit differently here. I thought our last episode, our award show, was going to be the last show we did in 2020, but we had to call an audible here to pay tribute to probably I would say, one of the more underappreciated talents uh, in the industry over the past few years. Unfortunately, this past Saturday we lost. I don't want to call him a legend, but he's he made an impact in the industry. Unfortunately, we lost Brodie Lee, also known as Luke Harper, shoot name Jon Huber. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Uh, Very sad, man. Kind of caught me off guard. Kind of just opened Instagram and I saw an actual tweet, screenshot from the actual AEW account, and so you just kind of know just right off the bat, didn't look like Photoshop because I saw it about 3 other times scrolling my timeline, just trying to get a deal, a sense of what's going on. Um, so we just want to do our due diligence here. I was a big fan. If you listen to our show in the past, the past few, probably say the last month and a half or so, maybe. I'm just wondering where's Brodie Lee been at on my television. I miss seeing the guy.
Right.
So I just want to run down a little bit of his career from what we know about. Discuss some of our favorite moments. We're not going to take up too much of your time. So if you stick around to the end, that's dope. Uh, Go ahead. Check us out as well at YK Wrestling. We want to talk about Brodie Lee and the Wyatt family and everything going forward. So I just want to start it off. I typed up a quick little eulogy. Shout out to Brodie Lee. He made his debut in 2003. He spent about the first 10 years of his career. He wrestled, promotions like Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, Chikara, and Square Circle Wrestling, the latter of which he won their World Heavyweight Championship on 2 occasions. He signed with the WWE in 2012, debuting in NXT as part of the Wyatt family. The Wyatt family got a call up in 2013. And as you know, they had notable battles with the Shield and the New Day. Also, I believe they had some matches with the Usos, if I'm not mistaken, around that time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were putting in work. I want to say it was the Go Home show before Survivor Series in 2014. Brodie Lee as Luke Harper won the Intercontinental Championship from Dolph Ziggler before losing to Dolph Ziggler at TLC the next month in a banger.
I forgot. I forgot how wild that was. That was one of the matches I watched earlier today, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was next on my playlist. I didn't get to it the other day. After I heard the news, I just went like, I gotta go watch some Brodie Lee matches. So I spent about like 2.5 hours just watching some of my favorite matches from WWE. And a few matches he was able to really get out in AEW. So I went down that rabbit hole for a little bit. In 2017, they were, he and Eric Rowan were repackaged as the Bludgeon Brothers, which I wasn't too fond of. I'm not gonna lie, but I did. I don't know. It was something about it I didn't like. I just thought like
I love it.
I don't think I like the mallets. Like I think that might have been it.
Well, I mean, mallets don't. The whole concept of it don't work. I mean, you see with the Fiend and everything like that.
Yeah.
It don't really work because you're not really gonna hit somebody with that shit on TV.
Right. But
I like the dominance of it. Like they weren't talking much. They said like the little
they went out there and whooped ass.
Yeah, and then that was it.
They ended up,
New Day was fire.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. They ended up winning the tag titles at Mania 34 in a triple threat versus the Usos and the New Day. Eventually losing to the New Day I want to say it was just a regular old no disqualification match. It might have been a street fight. That was a banger. Happened on SmackDown after SummerSlam. I want to say it was. Yeah, the SmackDown after SummerSlam in 2018 was when that took place. Fire match.
Yep.
The latter part of his career, WWE, it was a lot of injuries, a lot of just him sitting on the shelf due to possible lack of interest. I don't know the details, but led to his release late last year in 2019. Kind of sat around the first, had to sit out that 90-day period. Can't do anything. Shortly after that, he debuted in AEW in March of this year. What was originally supposed to be in his hometown. I think everybody saw it coming, and then COVID kind of got in the way. But he debuted as part of the Dark Order as the Exalted One. There was a lot of rumors pretty much the whole entire year from May 2019 to March when he made his debut. There was a lot of rumors, speculation, theories on who the Exalted One would be. And he never crossed my mind. It was, I thought it would be like Raven or somebody, but he made the Dark Order interesting because if you go and listen, a lot of the times, we like to talk about Malik, our other co-host, and I were at Double or Nothing, the initial one, the initial AEW show. And when the Dark Order debuted at that show, nobody knew who the hell they were in that crowd. Like, it was something that I was just like, I had no idea who they were. I thought they were some indie guys that were well known. It just seemed nobody really knew who they were. They weren't over. And if you remember Dynamite last year when they just came out and did that run in, like it was like December last year or maybe January this year, and they made a run in and it was just like missed a whole bunch of moves and it was just it went viral.
Oh man, this is probably why I couldn't take them seriously from the jump.
It was a lot of stuff that went on with the Dark Order that just wasn't working. And I think, them including Brodie Lee as a part of that, it completely changed the tide. Like I haven't heard a bad thing about the Dark Order. He's gotten guys over such as John Silver. I think is probably the most notable guy that's really benefited from the last 9 months with Brodie Lee being the Exalted One in the Dark Order, and so he helped those guys out a lot. Like took them from being miscast to probably one of the most popular parts of the show. It's like he had the ability to do that, and it's like I wasn't on the train of WWE should do something more with him because I thought he was great. Like you go check out that match he had with Dijakovic. I think it got a lot of positive reviews.
Worlds Collide, right?
Yeah, got a lot of positive reviews from everybody, and I thought like I'm not gonna lie, I watched that match for the first time like a couple days ago, and it was fire. And so I was like, damn, maybe they should have did something a little bit more with him, get him back in the Intercontinental title picture. But I could see, it's a styles clash. I can see where he didn't fit in, and so I am glad he got to experience this last little bit with AEW. He ended up winning the TNT Championship on Dynamite. It was a special edition of Dynamite in August of this year. And I wish I got to see it live. I was not watching it. I was watching NXT TakeOver that night, and I went and watched it back later, and he just completely destroyed Cody. And just, man, he looked dominant doing it. And big shout out to Cody for putting him over as well, selling for him the way he did. It just made him look the most, like he didn't even look that dominant with him and Rome with tearing shit up as the Bludgeon Brothers. Like that's the most dominant he's looked in his whole career, and it was amazing. And he ended up losing it just about less than 2 months later. And Now he's no longer here with us. It's very unfortunate. Condolences go out to his family, all his friends. We follow a lot of wrestlers on social media, so to see all the kind words being said from everybody, like literally everybody from both AEW and WWE, to see AEW just it's not about the ratings. It's not about this Wednesday night war stuff, and neither company has made it about that.
Right.
And I think that might be something that should stick around. Well past however long the grieving process is, it should stick around. It's much bigger than that, and I think it's kind of shitty that it took a death to maybe possibly have that mindset, but it is what it is, man.
Honestly, I haven't seen this level of I mean, the outpouring and everyone just speaking about it and how it affects them. I haven't seen that. Even
It's like,
Shad
hey,
earlier this year
yeah,
didn't get that same response. It really, I think, was the last time was back when Eddie passed. It's just crazy, But that just speaks to the type of man that he was, type of performer he was. Um, and you really you never know how far it goes, how wide it goes, until something like this happens. It's unfortunate. Um, but yeah, man, it's
if you want to hear some really fun stories, go scroll down Big E's Twitter feed. Like,
yeah,
it's
man.
I want to say it was like 2 days ago this happened. So it got about 2 days worth of just great stories and photos that you probably never saw before. All on Big E's Twitter. So go that's the one I know for sure. But I seen Cody posted a lot of cool stuff. They work together in WWE as well as AEW, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's like you said, I haven't felt this way about like another wrestler passing since Eddie. And I kind of felt this way about Shad earlier this year, but I think what was different with Shad is because like we know that he performed such a noble final act before he passed away, that I think that was more of our focus was on him as a hero. Whereas like you don't really think about that's how you kind of laud him up as this hero. And that
Well,
was
the
more
other thing,
focus with that. Whereas like you don't know, especially us, we don't know, Luke Harper slash Brodie Lee. We didn't know him. I never met him. I don't know if you met him or not, but we didn't know that from him. And so to hear all this fun, these kind words being said, it shines a different light on him
I
right
think.
now.
Well, and the other thing too is that for Shad, his career was over.
Yeah.
He transitioned into movies and stuff like that. So we weren't
Like we
thinking
just saw
about
Brodie Lee
Shad.
on television 2 months ago.
Right, right. Like we weren't thinking about Shad in the light of wrestling, because his time passed. He transitioned to movies. Brodie Lee, we were still waiting. Like you said, we were still looking to see him back on AEW. You know what I mean? We were just waiting, and it's like whatever had been going on
I for sure thought
for
he
a
was
while.
coming back this week.
Yeah, whatever had been going on for a while now, I guess really just took its toll, and the next thing you know, that's it. It's crazy because I mean, it's like we were saying earlier. There was such a shift for him since he went to AEW, and getting to be spotlighted more prominently and used used more, the in a creative sense. So I mean, to really be on that trajectory and to have it end like this, it's like, damn, man, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's bad, man. But like I said, I hope this changes the way we kind of think about things. But we can't reflect on just the stupid trivial stuff that don't matter. Like just enjoy what we have. And if you don't enjoy it, that's fine. But let's stop, shitting on guys, personally shitting on other guys who work. Like if we shitting on their characters, that's fine. Cause, that's probably what, especially if it's a heel character, a lot of heel characters, that's what they want.
That'd be creative anyway. So.
Yeah. Like shit on the characters, don't shit on the person. We don't know what they're going through. We didn't know this at all until, the news came out. Big shout out to AEW and Tony Khan and all those guys keeping it under wraps and adhering to the privacy of the family as well.
Right.
I know some people were, kind of speculating and trying to theorize on things. It's not the time nor place for that. It's none of your business, and I don't want to make this show about this because it's not about them, but it's none of your business, man, about what really went on.
I just to that point, and I gotta say this because I don't want to get off on no tangent or no rant about it, but I gotta say this. I'm really getting sick and tired of someone passes away and within 24 hours there's a story about what happened, what we don't know, what wasn't being said, some sort of conspiracy about what happened. Like, just I'm so sick of this. It's like y'all can't even wait a week. Y'all can't give it any time to just let this pass over. Like, people really hurt in situations like this. Like, us as fans, it's like, damn, that hits us. But he has family, he has friends, people he worked with. They really feel the gravity of this more than anything else. And it's like within 24 hours, it's like you can't even go online without something being said about, oh well, what don't we know? What was going on here? What's being hidden from in terms of the information and things that were being kept under wraps? It's like, why does anybody care about that? Like, no one wants to know about that. At the end of the day, it's like you said, it's a private.
This is people from this ain't folks that just kind of got started trying to be fake journalists because they made a blog or whatever. There's people that's been in the industry covering this for decades. You should probably know a little better than to not go about doing that. Like, that's how you get shunned out of spaces, by doing that. Fine by me if that happens, because there's more room for us, to go about it the right way, with a little bit more respect. And so I spent too much time talking about that. Let's move on, man. Yeah. So before we got on this call, man, we talked about how we went down a rabbit hole of Luke Harper / Brodie Lee matches, man. What was your favorite?
Listen, the first one off the top, and this has been one of my favorite matches for years, but Shield, Wyatt family, Elimination Chamber 2014.
Yeah.
And I watched it again the other day just because, and it's like every time I remember why, because it's just like the whole vibe, just once they turn it up, even if you've seen it 100 times, your adrenaline still gets going because it was such a dope dynamic. Like, these two factions.
Every match they had was fire.
Yeah, man. It's like they were so dominant individually between the two factions. And it's like, you when you watch it again, you just see the individual performances. Like, Seth was really on fire. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Luke had his moments too. Eric Rowan, I looked at him a little bit different after watching some of these matches. It's like, it's crazy. Roman was still a baby pretty much. He wasn't on that ride yet when they started pushing him to the top. It's just that's one of those matches that you knew what the future was when you saw this, and that's why everybody got up so hyped for it before they even got in the ring. It was crazy. But the other one, and we talked about it, was TLC with him and Dolph.
Yeah,
I watched that match when it first aired, but looking back at it, I had forgotten. That was rough. Like they beat the shit out of each other for real, and I did not remember some of them spots, man. Like my man looked like he broke his arm at
tough
one
ladder
point.
spots.
Oh my god! I'm like, I definitely don't remember this shit, but that spot, man, a bunch of those spots is absolutely crazy, man.
We talked about the Wyatt family versus the Shield, but I bet you there is a Wyatt family Shield match that you probably have not seen. I didn't know it happened. It took place on main event the week after WrestleMania 30,
What?
and they went about 20 minutes. It was very good, like
I
as good as the other matches. Like it was on main event.
I definitely didn't know about this.
I went and watched it. I was like, this shit fire.
What the hell?
I think probably my favorite. I got a couple actually. The match versus the New Day, when the New Day won the tag titles from the Bludgeon Brothers, as well as they faced the Usos in a 2 out of 3 falls match at Battleground in 2014, and so that's up there too. And then the match versus Cody, not the dog collar. I didn't really care for that. I don't like too much blood in my matches like that. But the one he won the title from Cody because it was just beat the shit out of
It
bro.
was
And
unexpected.
yeah, because like I told you, I'm watching Takeover, and so I go and kind of tap into what happened on Dynamite. They said Cody lost in like 3 minutes. I'm like, what? I was shocked. I was like, damn, they really really going all in with Brodie Lee, and then he lost the title, and I was a little disappointed, when he lost the title right back, and knowing what we know now, that's probably the reason for it, but uh, him winning that's my favorite moment too. I was gonna ask you what your favorite moment was. That's mine. He just kind of seemed on top of the world. I low key wanted him to beat Moxley or whatever pay per view they fought at. I think was it Double or Nothing.
I think so.
Yeah, I thought it was too soon for him to get a title shot, but
Yeah, it was.
I wanted him to win. Like I was like, give him
I
another
did,
title shot later down the line. He can win it.
right.
Like, and he stole the belt. There are photos of him holding the AEW championship, and he looked great with it. Like I would have liked
Right.
to see him get an actual reign with it. What was your favorite moment?
Uh, honestly, it would probably have to be WrestleMania 34 when they beat New Day for the tag titles.
New Day and
I was like,
Usos.
yeah. Because that felt like they turned the corner. It seemed like they separated from the Wyatts. They got their own groove now. They were dominant, and it was one of those situations. It's like you saw a great tag team on the rise again, and it seemed like that was going to have a great run. Obviously, that didn't happen, but that I think was probably the peak for both of them in terms of the WWE runs. But it was great to see, honestly. Like the matches were dope, and the gimmick. I was feeling the gimmick, honestly, but that was it. That was a good moment, man. I think honestly, I probably prefer that over, his time in the mid card scene. To be honest with you, because I don't think they went all in on him, but it is what it is. That's cool.
For sure. I think we could look back on that Bludgeon Brothers reign, and I think if they would have were together a little bit longer than a year, they was only together like a year.
Yeah,
So I think if it was together a little bit longer than that, it really could have did something with it. Uh, for some reason, WWE they don't like big tag teams, like two big guys being tag teams.
Vince doesn't like tag teams at all.
It was like he showed a little bit of respect to smaller tag tandems, or you might have the quick guy and the powerhouse guy, which is why like Street Profits and New Day are able to get over a little bit. When you got two powerhouse like AOP, they didn't get over. Bludgeon Brothers, they didn't get over. Uh, they should have done more with it. Is all I'm saying.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but as announced by Tony Khan, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. Episode of Dynamite. It's a special episode of Dynamite that was announced. The Brodie Lee Memorial Celebration of Life episode of Dynamite, and it's tag team match heavy. So if you don't like tag matches, you probably don't want to tune in. But if you don't mind, if you want to tune in to pay your respects, I will be watching live, uh, one screen on because NXT is doing a recap show, and so I don't gotta watch it, and so I can watch it without stress because it's very stressful watching two shows at once. Uh, so I can watch one show and I'll be watching Dynamite. I'm gonna run down this card. It's a pretty neat card, man. We got Cole Cabana and the Young Bucks taking on Matt Hardy and Private Party. Uh, Lance Archer, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson of the Dark Order taking on Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade. We have the Inner Circle, MJF, Santana, and Ortiz taking on Hangman Adam Page and Alex Reynolds, number 3, and John Silver, number 4 of the Dark Order. Number 99 of the Dark Order, Anna Jay and Tay Conti taking on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Penelope Ford. And this one I thought was a cool gesture. Tony Khan allowed Brodie Lee's son to help book this match. And he took 3 of his favorites and put them on one team together. Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and number 10, Preston Vance of the Dark Order versus Team Taz. And that match was booked by Brodie Lee Jr. Or for Brodie Lee named his son Brody, which I thought was kind of cool. So like they say Brodie Lee Jr. is kind of technically Brodie Lee Jr. And so he booked that match. So that should be cool. And I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be looking forward to a lot of the cool things, the nice things that will be said, the video tributes. I look forward to my eyes watering up possibly. I watched Being the Elite for the first time ever today. It did a tribute to Brodie Lee on there, and they showed a lot of clips and behind the scenes and bloopers from the scenes they shot with him. And I might have to go back and watch some of those. I didn't understand the context, and so I didn't get it. But just to see how he would just break everybody. like he'll say something and just like everybody would just like break out in corpse and start laughing.
Yeah.
It's just like he seemed like such a cool ass guy. Just all the cool stories and stuff, man. The kind words said from his former wife, family members, Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan. Great things said about them. Becky Lynch said some cool stuff. Cody, John Silver, all those guys, man. So Brodie Lee will be missed, and yeah, that's all I really got to say, man. I'm still kind of at a loss of words a little bit. It's kind of surreal.
Yeah, I don't. It was kind of tough to really formulate a real reaction because, I mean, I remember as soon as I got the text when you hit us up in the chat, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I went over I think to Twitter first, and that's when I started seeing it like just blow up. I'm like, "What the hell is going on? What do you mean?" Like it was just a shock moment. So I don't know. I don't know if I've even still like processed it all completely yet. It's like, you know, we're fans, you know, like I said before, we don't feel it the same way they do, But when you invest so much time into it, like there's a feeling that you have about
There's a lot of emotional investment. Like people forget these are essentially television characters for the most part. And I feel like we as the audience, we invest in these characters the same way you invest in the characters in any other show. Like, spoiler alert, how many people were in their feelings about Opie from Sons of Anarchy? Or, uh, there's a few characters who I'm aware of from The Walking Dead. I've never seen it, but there's a few characters on there that people were emotionally attached to who passed away or who were written off in that manner. And it tugged at the heartstrings a little bit. So you forget these people are TV characters. And so we invest so much in them emotionally, and you invest so much into the person portraying them. And that like something like this happens, it kind of has that same effect.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't really know how to close this out, so I'm just gonna close it out here. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, rest in paradise to Jon Huber, Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, and everybody else out there. Stay up, stay healthy. It's kind of all I gotta say.
Sure.
Take care, y'all.